Mansfield Timberview has one of the state's top-ranked girls teams. Again, the Lady Wolves, #2 in 5A this week, coming into their game at Burleson. After Timberview jumped out to a 6-0 lead in the first, Burleson cuts it in half with a deep ball from Lexi Hernandez, but Timberview goes right back to work. Brooklyn Terry hits the three-pointer off the inbounds pass. And next, it's Terry feeding Emily Jones in the paint for 2 more. Jones, a junior, would finish with 12 points for Timberview, and Terry, a sophomore, would get a game-high 17 for the Lady Wolves. Timberview led by 10 after the first quarter, then scored the first 15 of the second to lead by 25 after the long 2 by Tamaya Mims. Timberview holds Burleson to just 7 points in the game as the Lady Wolves get the win by 50. Mansfield Timberview now 12-0 in district play with 4 games left. It looks like they'll be a team to watch when the playoffs get underway in a few weeks. And that's right where the Lady Wolves are used to being. Head coach Kyle Martin joins me now to talk about this year's team and her expectations going forward. Coach, thanks so much for joining us this evening.
Thanks for having me. That means we're doing something good to be able to be talked about at this point in the year.
Yes, absolutely. Y'all are 28-3 on the year, 12-0 in district, and on a 20-game win streak. And as we said earlier, you won your last game 57-7. What is working so well for this group of girls?
First of all, they're extremely coachable. This particular group has really bought into everything, and every coach wants that. They want that buy-in. They want both feet in. They want that 100% commitment. But with this team, we have so many kids that can do really so many different things. We have 4 kids that are in double digits in scoring, and we have 4 that are averaging over 5 rebounds a game. And, that's very uncommon. We don't have to rely just on one person, and that really makes it much easier for us to share the workload and share the glory, too.
So y'all made it to the 4th round last year before getting knocked out by Amarillo. How has that motivated your team this season?
Going into that game last year, we had 5 kids that are on the squad now that were playing, or 6 kids that played in that game last year. We had our point guard from last year blew her ACL in the game before the round before that. So, we had to go into that game knowing that we were down our number 1 player that year, and these kids gave everything they possibly could in that game. And I don't think the fire that they felt and how upset they were that they couldn't pull it off last year has just fueled their entire offseason and this whole approach to this year. They want to get back to that spot and have that opportunity to make that outcome different.
Well, y'all are certainly on a good path to doing that so far, and you've done it with such a young team. No seniors in the starting 5. How have y'all made sure that this team's youth hasn't held y'all back at all?
Well, we're just really in a great spot right now because we're young in a sense, but we also have 7 players on this particular squad who have 2, 3, or even 4 years of varsity experience. So we do have a senior who's been on the team since her freshman year, which was the last time we went to the state tournament, and she was a starter for that team. So, that's a testament to how deep we are, and that's hard for other teams to combat because you don't really have one person that you can try to stop, and that it makes a difference to us. It's really you're going to have to figure out what you want to try to take away from us because it's too multi-pronged.
What does this team have to do to be the last one standing in San Antonio?
Man, I tell you, in Region 1 this year in 5A, right now there are, that's the number 1, 2, 3, and 6 ranked teams in the state are in our region. So there are teams with tradition rich that have been winning state championships, have been to this tournament, that are in those top spots. And there are some blue chip players that are in our region. So what we know we have to do is we're going to have to really excel on the defensive end when we're combating some of these teams and take away what they do best. No, we're not going to be able to stop every player that we face because there's so much talent everywhere around. But we've got to be able to rely on our defensive intensity and efforts to allow us to do what we love to do the most, and that's to score.
All right, well, it'll certainly be exciting to watch over these next several weeks. That's Kit Kyle Martin, head coach of the Timberview Lady Wolves. Coach, thanks so much for coming on, and best of luck the rest of the year.
I appreciate that so much, Taylor.